Okay, you got me again. This is the Bunny Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about. We've got the Coach JB, you got Jason Whitlock, you got Matt, and you got the Howard Cosell, the Korean Howard Cosell, as he calls himself. And all these guys are great reporters. Let me preference that right away. They're all great reporters, and I'm speaking about the Cosell. You got Jason Whitlock, and you got JB, and you got Big Matt played in the league. He knows the league. He knows the concept, and he has a different viewpoint, works with kids, coaches kids, helps them. But I'm going to bring this to you, and I want to kind of get it out there because, excuse me, what's going on here is it's a little different. I haven't seen it before. And who am I? I'm Money Mike Walker. Boy, I got my throat closed. I apologize. Money Mike Walker. I come from the print. My credential. Covered Aaron Rodgers, NFC Championship game all the way back in 2012 up in Soldier Field, went on and won the Super Bowl MVP. Covered the Oakland Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers credential. That came out of SAC Cultural Hub. Been a contributor with Bleacher Report. So I, cover the NFL, but I'm bringing this down, and the reason I'm covering Colorado because this is an NFL program. And I want to just bring you the truth. And I've heard these guys get on how Deion can't coach running the JUCO program. Man, that's about as disrespectful as you can get. Because I will tell you this, folks, any NFL Hall of Famer. Okay, there ain't that many of them in there. And there's a whole lot of guys that have played in the league that are not in the Hall of Fame. Anybody who has made it to the Hall of Fame can coach football. Because there's no way you can make it to the Hall of Fame without understanding the game of football and not knowing how to coach it, because to get there, you have to coach up teammates. You got to coach up coaches. You got to let guys what's going on. Even Ray Lewis, okay? Was sitting there. Rex Ryan is making the call. Ray's not agreeing with it. So Ray Lewis, you know what? He can coach football, okay? Ed Reed can coach football. So I bring this to you, but I found the source for you, folks. Oh, Uncle Neeley. Boy, everybody got that uncle. Oh, Uncle Neeley got the scoop. He got the inside. And I'm going to play some clips to let you hear it because we had another portal transfer, okay, Dalen Edwards, okay, who I was high on, okay, but he entered the portal, okay, and we're going to give you the truth, the inside scoop. We don't sugarcoat it because, folks, one thing you don't do in the NFL, you don't run fake news and you don't run fake stories, okay? You either got it or you don't. And at the end of the day, it's the national brand. It's the highest brand. And you do not play around with the shield of the NFL, okay? Now, we're in social media, and this is college. But I will tell you this, Deion's a Hall of Famer. Warren Sapp is a Hall of Famer. All right, so take a look at these clips. This is going to be old Uncle Neeley breaking it down for you. And we'll be right back.
I want to go with Jeremiah Brown on defense.
Yeah.
This past weekend. And you can close your eyes and reach in a barrel of name and pull out a receiver's name. They all had a great day.
Let's go with Jimmy Horn.
Great day. Let me tell you about the Jimmy Horn touchdown I just love. Protection broke down. Shador scrambled out to his right. Just as Shador is signaling what Jimmy should do, Jimmy was already giving him the signal. Broke open for a touchdown. I mean, their chemistry, their connectivity off the charts. You could easily pick Jimmy Horn for offensive player from the scrimmage.
Beautiful. Seems like Shador and these receivers, what we saw last year on the field, it's just being built upon. They're getting even better and better. The chemistry is just getting better and better also. Yeah,
absolutely. And today, probably a tie of sorts. I saw the defense get the better of some things. I saw the offense get some better of some things. So I tell you who I will go with, and this is going to be the first time I'm going with this in now 13 practices in the book. Mark Fassett is punting the beat out of the ball. So you got right now Jason Phillips is working with the punt returners, and there's a punt return by committee back there learning mechanics. So you got Travis Hunter back there, of course, Dylan, not Dylan Edwards, but Jimmy Horn Jr., some of the new receivers are back there, learning the mechanics of it. But when you talk about the practice reps and the way Mark can sky that ball or kick it deep or angle it and make them do the things they have to do in the game, I'm going with Mark Fassett today, man.
And folks, that's Uncle Neeley. Uncle Neeley's inside the building, okay? And, I knew I kept searching for a source. and he's been there all along, and he's inside the building. He knows exactly what's going on and what the coaches are doing, and I got a little clip coming for you for that. And we're going to get to Jalen, okay, who actually got in the portal. Okay, it happens. But, out of all this, and I listen to these gentlemen all the time, and I've never seen anything like it, but here's what I challenge, because they're saying Deion can't coach. But here's the deal. They never go to the X's and O's. And I'm wondering, Coach JB, why don't you just show us on the X's and O's what Deion can't do? Because just saying it doesn't really mean anything. But if you guys can take it to the board and put the X's on the O's on the board for me and show me what part of coaching that Deion can't do, okay, I would greatly respect that, because that would be correct NFL reporting. Okay, so if you could take it to the board, JB, because JB was a coach, and he did on Netflix, and I watched him, and he's a fiery guy. Here was the difference with Coach JB versus Coach Deion, I'll tell you right away. Coach JB wanted to coach everything. Okay, he didn't trust his coaches. So there was constant battling going back and forth with his coaches. Okay, they almost got into fights. They were downright just battling. Okay, and for Jason Whitlock, he's coming from the media. He's been in politics. He's done it, and he's good at what he do. And, so when you guys say Deion, the culture and all this, but you're not in the building. That's the number one thing. And in the NFL, you'll always hear us say we're not in the building. So if you're not there, you got a good understanding. But what I try to do is source it out, and that's what Uncle Neeley did. So, but these guys need to take it to X's and O's and show us on the board what Deion can't do. And then that's the factual information. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to play this next clip, because Uncle Neeley is telling us exactly what's going on. Take a listen.
Let's get down to business.
Let's
Evan's
get
talking about
down to business.
Savion Wilkerson into the portal.
Yep.
And then Dylan Edwards into the portal today. The running back room just seeing a lot of attrition. What's been going on? What can you tell the people?
I can tell you what you just said. They were not at practice today. They were not in the building today. I think that this is one of those things, man, that you just have to look at the chronological order of how things happen. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a red flag to college football out there. There are some people that do not want to compete. It is no coincidence to me that when Coach Prime announced that Charlie Offerdahl was going to be a number 2, and then we sign a running back from Ohio State, 2 guys leave.
Yeah.
This is not the environment where you're going to be guaranteed anything. Alton McCaskill, his own statement when he left, he wants to be the one somewhere. And if he's not going to be the one, he's not going. We don't negotiate like that. The best players are going to see the field. If you don't feel you can compete and become the best player, we wish you well in your future opportunities. Dylan Edwards, great guy, very talented, had much success week 1 last year at TCU. Wishing him the best wherever he lands. But it just seems chronological order-wise that he left camp because someone was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, that's the reason Dalen Edwards has entered the portal. They've moved somebody up in the depth chart who's working their tail off. And then they got another running back coming in from Ohio State, okay, the Buckeyes. And this one here, I'm going to tell you, folks, this one puzzles me, because when you hear the reports, you'll get Whitlock and JB, and they're just talking about everybody's leaving and going out. That's not the issue, folks. Competition's coming in. And here's the next issue that I got, okay, because Pat Shurmur, as you're going to hear in this next clip, man, they're putting things in for these guys. And I don't know how, for the life of me, that you're going to be under an NFL coach, okay, whose dad was Fritz Shurmur, and, man, he used to give Bill Waltz fits. But these guys are walking away from NFL coaching, and they think they're going to find a better way. And you got Pat Shurmur, okay, had Dalen Edwards in the game plan. He's putting in an offense for him, and he walked away because they signed another running back. And, folks, the game has changed. You used to get in there, you'd battle it out, you'd work your way up the depth chart. Now, here's the new age. Guys are walking away and going in the portal because they believe they can go somewhere else where it's going to be easier for them. And that's the issue. But it is what it is. You got to get the truth. So Uncle Neeley, he's going to share a little bit more, but this is uncut, folks. This is someone who's inside the building. He's there every day. He knows what's going on. And when you go back over here, this is all speculation, okay? But they're looking at it as a target audience of how many people out there actually hate Deion. And if they can promote that as it does, it's called a target audience, okay? You know, as I said, 50% of the people do not like Deion, okay? And I'm on the other half, and I'm just going to give you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to let you know what exactly is going on, what I see, what I hear. And I got a good understanding, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to get some stuff that's just not true. So here's Uncle Neeley, and he's going to bring it to you, and he's just putting it down the way it should be.
A lot of the questions are, surrounding this kind of drama right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us or share any insight as to why Dylan entered the transfer portal?
I haven't spoken to Dylan, right? So these are, again, just assumptions on my part based on the timeline. I do know this internally. When you look at what Pat Shurmur was developing for this offense, Dylan Edwards was part of it. You heard at his press conferences how he was now featured in the pass game and the run game. For you to have all that going for you and want to transfer for a better opportunity, because let's just keep it 100. These guys transfer for a better opportunity.
Yep.
And I can't knock you wanting a better opportunity. But I don't know what better opportunity than you have than when you're on a team with Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, and you're still getting featured in the playbook.
Yep.
Like, I can't make sense of it where you think you're going to go and you're going to get more than that. There were schemes based on him. There were play calls drawn up based on him. As he said in a press conference a couple weeks ago, he was excited about being in the pass game. Just last week, he asked me to mic him up for practice.
Yeah.
I mean, just last week. So when I look at the chronological order, Charlie goes up to firm 2. We sign a running back. He leaves. It just sends a message to me, you don't want to compete. Same thing with Savion. He came from Jackson State with us, got here late. His waiver was approved. A lot of things were done to help him be able to transition smoothly. Scored a touchdown at TCU.
Yep.
Dylan had that big day at TCU, and Savion still scored as well. So this running back room is always operated by committee, and everybody eats. But they chose to leave.
A lot of people on the outside are going to see this as a surprise. Is this a surprise inside the building that Dylan Edwards entered the portal?
Let me tell you this, and I say this sincerely, Jake. Great question. I don't know a person on God's green earth that has been gifted with the level of discernment and forecasting that Coach Prime has. None of this stuff catches him off guard. He may not know that this guy was leaving on this day, but he's a great reader of body language and attitude.
Folks, you're hearing it from Uncle Neeley. He's letting you know. And that's the inside scoop, and that's the truth. And for the life of me, man, oh man, I don't know how these guys explain how you go away from NFL coaching. Because when you get to the next level, and when these teams meet with you, they know Pat Shurmur. They know Deion Sanders. They know Warren Sapp. They know these guys inside and out. These guys are not going to lie, okay? And for the life of me, is people have said, well, no, you're not going to lose any stock. You're not going to lose. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. You will lose stock. And here's what's changed. Before, you had people who were mentors. You had coaches, guys who work them out. They go ahead and they talk to the guys, get them the best scholarship they can. Now that you got people, the NIL is involved, now everybody's been moved out of the way and they're dealing directly. And for the life of me, I haven't seen anything like this ever before, because anybody out there who wants to go to the NFL, the best thing you can do is go somewhere where they have NFL coaching, and they are preparing you for the future of you playing in the National Football League, which is called the league. And this is interesting, but as you heard it, they're putting in game plans for individuals, but the fear of not being able to compete is running them away from the building. It has nothing to do with Deion Sanders, and Uncle Neeley is making it as plain as possible. Take a listen. We're going to close with this next one, but he's giving it to us. Here you go.
But they chose to leave.
A lot of people on the outside are going to see this as a surprise. Is this a surprise inside the building that Dylan Edwards entered the portal?
Let me tell you this, and I say this sincerely, Jake. Great question. I don't know a person on God's green earth that has been gifted with the level of discernment and forecasting that Coach Prime has. None of this stuff catches him off guard. He may not know that this guy was leaving on this day, but he's a great reader of body language and attitude, and and kind of seeing that a guy, is not really giving this all. Coach and I talked last night, and I tell you something I said to him, and he amened it. I'd rather find out mid-April
Yes.
than mid-September. Because a guy who will check out for an opportunity now will check out for an opportunity in October. As Coach Prime will put it, God shakes a tree and the bad fruit will fall off. The fruit that's going to stay is going to be there. We're happy with what we got. There are going to be some more running backs coming in. We're going to have a fine run game, fine running back featured in the passing game. Of course, man, you cannot sugarcoat or try to diminish or water down the talent of Dylan Edwards. You can't even do that with Savion and his bowling ball style. We got to keep in mind, though, Mike has been running that ball.
Yep.
And so, again, it gets back to me. Some people don't want to compete anymore.
So, folks, there you have it. I'm going to give it to you uncut. I'll always bring you the truth. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, and we are powered by Fanatics. And to make a statement that Deion can't coach, then what everyone here is saying, except for Matt. Matt's got a realistic because he's been in the league, okay, and he knows who Shermer is. Realistically, you're saying all the other guys on Deion's coaching staff can't coach. And that's a flat-out false statement, okay? And at the end of the day, you know what? For the life of me, I don't get it. But this is going to be a pretty good program up in Colorado. It's an NFL program. The competition that they're going to face in the Big 12 is NFL talent, and there's nowhere else to turn. And for guys who want to have an easy day, you know what? That's going to be hard to explain because you got to do the work. And when you get drafted or you get signed as an undrafted free agent, there is no portal. You just get released. And they don't tolerate this type of behavior. And anybody who has consideration, what they always want to tell you in the NFL and the scouts, they believe where there's smoke, there's fire. So they're going to come into that Colorado building. They're going to speak to about 25 or 50 people until they find the truth, okay? And once they find out the character, and they got to know if you're built for the NFL, because everybody's not built for the NFL. And honestly, guys, if I tell you the truth, it's the guys that get drafted in the 4th round through the 7th round. Those are the real players in the NFL. All the other stars, they either flame out or they just don't produce what everybody thinks they can. And that's what you got. You got 5 stars. Somebody makes you a 5-star, and it gets hyped up. And then when you got to go put it on film, it doesn't work itself out. And that's just the life of it. And this is like any other program. And in the NFL, when you get there, no matter how great you are, next year they're going to draft your replacement because that's what they do. And it's all structured. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. And I'm bringing it to you uncut. We got Uncle Neeley, who's inside the building, giving us the truth. And as Money Mike will always tell you, all things are possible to those who believe. We're going to get better and better as we bring it to you from the University of Colorado, because we want to make sure everyone goes higher and higher and enjoy this upcoming season of Deion Sanders, all the coaches he has. And I'll go ahead and I'll break down the coaching lineup for you on the next series. But this program is going in the right direction, and the individuals who are leaving the program are not leaving because of Deion Sanders. They're leaving because of the players Deion Sanders is bringing in. We'll see you soon, and always keep it in mind, all things are possible to those who believe.